Praxis 5713 Practice Test with Rationales Preparation Quiz. Question 1. A student has written the following thesis statement for a persuasive essay. I think that social media is bad for teenagers. Which of the following revised thesis statements is the most effective, specific, and arguable? Is it? Option A. Social media is bad. B. In my opinion, social media has many negative effects on teenagers. C. The excessive use of social media platforms among teenagers is linked to increased rates of anxiety, depression, and sleep disruption, and schools should implement digital wellness programs to address this public health concern. Or D. Social media can be both good and bad for teenagers. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. This question tests understanding of the key components of an effective thesis statement for a persuasive essay. An effective thesis should be specific, arguable, not a statement of fact, and provide a clear roadmap for the essay. Option C is excellent. It identifies a specific subject. Excessive use of social media platforms among teenagers makes a specific, arguable claim. It is linked to increased rates of anxiety, depression, and sleep disruption, and even hints at a proposed solution. Schools should implement digital wellness programs. This gives the essay a clear focus and purpose. Option A is too vague and simplistic. Option B is a weak thesis. It's essentially the same as the original, just rephrased, and uses the weak qualifier in my opinion. Option D is a balanced statement that acknowledges both sides, which is not an effective persuasive thesis because it doesn't take a clear, arguable stance. Option C is the only one that provides a focused, debatable, and substantive claim. Remember, we can take your Praxis 5001 exam for you, remotely and undetected, with pass score guaranteed. Message us via the number in the bio. Question 2. A 9th grade English teacher, Ms. Abernathy, is reviewing her students' first drafts of a persuasive essay. One student, James, has written a paragraph that contains several errors. The paragraph reads, "There are many reasons why the school should adopt a later start time. First, studies show that teenagers need more sleep. Second, they are more alert later in the morning, which would lead to better grades. Third, it would reduce tardiness because students would have more time to get ready in the morning." Ms. Abernathy wants to provide feedback that will help James understand the specific error in his writing and learn how to correct it. Which of the following comments from Ms. Abernathy would be most effective in achieving this goal? Is it? Option A. James, you have a sentence fragment here. Look at the sentence that begins with which. It starts with a relative pronoun and doesn't express a complete thought. Can you combine it with the sentence before it to fix it? B. James, your ideas are good, but your writing is a bit choppy. You need to work on your sentence variety. Try to make some sentences longer and some shorter. C. James, you have a comma splice in this paragraph. You're joining two independent clauses with just a comma. You need to use a semicolon or a conjunction. Or D. James, your pronoun reference is unclear. In the second sentence, they could refer to teenagers or studies. You need to make it clearer. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is A. This question requires precise identification of a specific grammatical error and the ability to provide targeted, instructive feedback. The sentence which would lead to better grades is a classic example of a sentence fragment. It begins with a relative pronoun, which, and is intended to provide additional information about the preceding clause, but it is not attached to an independent clause and cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. Option A correctly identifies the error as a fragment, explains why it's a fragment. It starts with a relative pronoun and doesn't express a complete thought, and provides a clear, actionable strategy for correction. Combine it with the previous sentence. This feedback is both diagnostic and prescriptive, which is ideal for helping a student learn. Option B offers vague advice about choppy writing and sentence variety without pinpointing the specific structural error. This feedback is too general to be helpful for a student who doesn't know what's wrong. Option C misdiagnoses the error. There is no comma splice in this paragraph. A comma splice occurs when two independent clauses are joined by only a comma, e.g., I went to the store, I bought milk. That is not present here. Option D also misdiagnoses the error. While pronoun reference can sometimes be an issue, in this context, they clearly and logically refers to teenagers, the subject of the previous clause. The primary error is the fragment, not the pronoun. This question assesses a teacher's ability to perform precise error analysis and deliver effective, targeted writing instruction. Question 3. A student has written the following sentences. The concert was amazing. The band played all my favorite songs. The lights were spectacular. The crowd was energetic. I had a great time. The teacher notes that the writing, while grammatically correct, is choppy and lacks flow. Which of the following revisions best combines these ideas into a more sophisticated and fluent sentence while preserving the original meaning? Is it? Option A. The concert was amazing, and the band played all my favorite songs, and the lights were spectacular, and the crowd was energetic, and I had a great time. B. The concert was amazing because the band played all my favorite songs, the lights were spectacular, and the crowd was energetic, which made me have a great time. C. The concert was amazing. The band played all my favorite songs, the lights were spectacular, and the crowd was energetic. I had a great time. Or D. Having an amazing concert, the band played all my favorite songs, the lights were spectacular, and the crowd was energetic, so I had a great time. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. This question assesses the ability to combine simple sentences effectively to improve fluency and style. The original 5 sentences are all simple and repetitive. Option C is the most effective revision. It uses a colon to introduce a list of reasons that explain why the concert was amazing. This creates a clear and sophisticated logical relationship. The colon signals that what follows is an explanation or elaboration of the first clause. The final short sentence, I had a great time, provides a concise and emphatic conclusion. Option A is a run-on sentence created by simply stringing the sentences together with and, which is just as choppy and repetitive as the original. Option B is grammatically correct but slightly awkward. The phrase which made me have a great time is a bit wordy and less direct than the original final sentence. Option D contains a dangling modifier. Having an amazing concert is a participial phrase that seems to modify the band, implying the band had an amazing concert, which is not the intended meaning. Option C is the most elegant and structurally sound revision. Question 4. A high school student, David, is writing an argumentative essay on the topic of school uniforms. In one body paragraph, he makes the following claim: requiring students to wear uniforms would save families money. He then provides the following supporting sentence: my mom says she spends a lot of money on my clothes for school. Which of the following statements best evaluates the effectiveness of this evidence and suggests a more effective revision? Is it? Option A. The evidence is effective because it comes from a credible source, David's mother, who has direct experience with the cost of school clothes. The paragraph is fine as is. B. The evidence is not effective because it is an anecdote based on a single family's experience, which is not representative or generalizable. A more effective revision would be to cite a study or data showing the average amount families spend on school clothes versus the cost of uniforms, or to compare prices from different stores. C. The evidence is not effective because it is written in first person, my mom. David should change it to third person. One parent reports spending a lot of money on clothes. Or D. The evidence is effective, but it needs a citation. David should add personal communication after the sentence to properly cite his mother as a source. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. This question tests understanding of what constitutes strong evidence in academic argumentative writing. Anecdotal evidence, based on a single, personal experience, is generally considered weak support for a broad claim like requiring uniforms would save families money. David's evidence is not generalizable and does not provide the objective, verifiable data needed to convincingly support his argument. Option B correctly identifies this flaw, anecdotal, not representative, and provides a specific, effective suggestion for revision, using research or statistical data. This moves the argument from a personal opinion to a more credible, evidence-based claim. Option A incorrectly validates weak evidence. Option C misidentifies the core problem. The issue is not the grammatical person, but the lack of generalizability. Even in third person, an anecdote remains an anecdote. Option D also misses the point. Citing a personal conversation does not transform an anecdote into strong, objective evidence for a broad claim. This question assesses a key skill in argumentation, evaluating the quality and relevance of evidence. Question 5. A college student is writing a research paper and comes across the following sentence in a scholarly article. The results of the study were inconclusive, however, further research is needed in this area. The student wants to quote this sentence in her paper. Which of the following options correctly punctuates the quoted material and integrates it smoothly into her own sentence? Is it Option A. According to the researchers, the results of the study were inconclusive, however, further research is needed in this area. B. The researchers state that the results of the study were inconclusive, however, further research is needed in this area. C. According to the researchers, the results of the study were inconclusive, however, further research is needed in this area. Or D. The researchers state that the results of the study were inconclusive, however, further research is needed in this area. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. This question tests the ability to correctly punctuate a direct quote, specifically when it contains a conjunctive adverb like however. The original sentence contains a punctuation error, a comma splice. It incorrectly joins two independent clauses, the results were inconclusive, and further research is needed, with only a comma before however. A conjunctive adverb like however requires a semicolon before it and a comma after it when it joins two independent clauses. Option C correctly preserves the meaning while fixing the original error by using a semicolon before however. It also correctly integrates the quote with a signal phrase and a comma before the quote. Option A perpetuates the original comma splice error. Option B also perpetuates the error and incorrectly capitalizes the after the signal phrase that, which does not require a comma. Option D incorrectly places a comma after that, which is not standard punctuation before an indirect quote or that clause. This question assesses a sophisticated understanding of punctuation rules involving conjunctive adverbs and proper quote integration. How many did you score out of 5? Let us know in the comments below. Also, tell us which exam we should cover next. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more.